Hello and welcome to my corner of the world, and welcome to October's card class to go. This video is going to show you how to make this card using the stamp set this month, which is Stylish Christmas to Go. And you can see we have the inside decorated as well as the envelope. So if you subscribed to the option 1 of the class, you will have received a brand new stamp set as well as brand new ink pads in the colours that we're using this month, which is Cherry Cobbler and Garden Green. You will also have received a little cello bag containing supplies to make two cards of this design. You will also have access to the PDFs as well as these videos. If you chose option 2 of the class, you will have a cello packet that will have the supplies for 2 cards, and of course you'll have access to the PDFs and the videos. And if you chose option 3, you will have the access to the videos, and I will have emailed you the PDF files with the instructions and the supply list. So let's go ahead and have a look to see what's in our bag for this card. So you're going to have your envelope. This is going to be Whisper White, and we have a Garden Green card base. You're going to have 2 pieces of Whisper White cardstock. They are both the same size. One will be for the inside of your card and the other will be for the outside. You'll have a piece of designer series paper, a strip of gold glimmer paper, a little ribbony bowie twist for the front of the card, and you're also going to have some vellum, which is what you're going to stamp your greeting on. And as you can see, I've already stamped my greeting on this one just to save a little bit of time. So let's go ahead and do some stamping. I'm going to bring in a piece of paper so that I don't get ink all over my work surface, and we'll start by stamping the inside of the card. So I'm using this lovely leaf stamp. You will see that it actually is got different sort of depth, so it will give you different shading all in one stamp. So we're going to start with Garden Green, and you're just going to take 1 piece of the quarter sheet of your card, and all I've done is stamp once up in one corner and once down in this corner. So that's that bit finished. I'm going to take my envelope and make sure that it's the right way up, and I'm just going to stamp 1 time in. So I'm stamping all 3 leaves at once. So those 2 pieces are now done. So then we're going to start work on the front, and I've got 1 leaf in that top right hand corner. So just pop that up there like that, and then I finish with my leaf. So I'm going to set that aside for a few moments. I always close my ink pads because I'm the one that gets my elbow in them if I don't, or I'll put my cardstock on and I'll be really unhappy then. So I'm going to ink up this lovely swirly stamp with the Cherry Cobbler. I want to make sure I've got a good coverage. You don't need to press too hard with these ink pads. Just make sure you've got enough coverage. And then I'm going to position it up toward the top a little bit here. I just want to make sure I've got my swirls there so that they're a show above my decorative paper, and I've got a little bit of space down here, and I think I'm just gonna put a little bit of maybe a swirl just down here, just so it peeks out when I put my designer series paper on. So I've finished with that, and now I'm just going to move on, and I'm going to take the little stamp that looks like some starry snowflakies things. And I'm just gonna fill in a little bit of my space with some of these. And possibly some of them won't show when it comes to it, but that doesn't matter. I know that they're there. So that's my stamping complete. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to position the designer series paper. You could use the other side, but it's not terribly interesting. But I'm going to have the green showing. I'm going to use liquid glue. It's up to you what you'd like to do, whether you use snail or maybe a glue stick. I'm going to get rid of this piece of paper now. I don't need it there. And I'm going to position it so it's probably about a ½ an inch. It's not critical, but possibly about a ½ an inch. And just make sure it's lined up on the edges. And I'm just going to check to make sure that it's level there. You might find it's a tiny bit longer. You're just going to get some paper snips to put that right. And then with some glue dots, which I had here momentarily, but the little perishers have disappeared. Oh, there they are. I'm going to put one on each end and one on in the middle. And the reason I'm using glue dots is that they're a bit stronger and it will hold my strip on a lot better. I'm just going to cover my gap or my join there, press firmly, and again I'm going to double check to see if I've got any of that showing, and I can just see a tiny little bit of the designer series paper just peeking out, so I'm just going to gently trim that away like that. And then I am going to use the liquid glue onto my card base. You can see I don't use a huge amount, plus I try and keep it well away from the edges so that when I put it down on my card it doesn't squidge out and make a mess. And there we go, like that, pressing firmly. Then I have my inside piece. Again, I'm going to just have some liquid adhesive. I always put the cap back on between uses, and that's really to stop it drying in the nozzle. There we go, press firmly. And then we have the little piece of vellum, and as I say, I have already stamped on it, but I'm going to now cut my little banner. So I'm just putting my glasses on for that. So how I do my banners is I cut in about halfway along the length, the width of this piece. Then I take my snips and I go from this corner to the tip of my cut, like that, corner to where my cut was in there, and there I have my banner. Now I'm going to adhere it here so that it's level with this side of my card, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere it just so that my greeting is kind of just underlined by the edge of the gold, and I'm going to use my glue dots again, and I am just going to use right at the very bottom, like that. And then when I go to put them on my card, I find that they are hidden. They just disappear in the glimmer paper and they don't show through. And then I have my little bow. Well, it's a little knot really. And I'm just going to just use my glue dot and my piercing tool and just pop it there, and then I start with my really lovely gold. I love these gold and silver pearls. So I'm just going to stick a couple on here, maybe pop one up there so it's included. I think we're good there. So there we are. So there's the third card. Now there's 3 other videos that you'll need to view to be able to see the other cards that we've made. I hope you've enjoyed this one using this stamp set. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.